Check it out. It's 5:45 right now. And look, still blue skies and barfy burgers. Aw, yeah. Hey, yo, guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? Welcome back to yet another one of these vlogs of mine. Tonight, I kind of wanted to make it a little bit more interesting. I'm just not sure exactly how. I was thinking, because I do that from time to time, of checking out that computer that I got a couple of years ago that I never checked out. The one that Scampers has turned into pretty much a bed, except for now she's sleeping over there. This thing here, this Shuttle PC, I've never taken it out of the box. For all I know, it's a brick in there. Who knows? For all I know, it's a brick in there. So let's go ahead, bring this thing in here. We'll sit it down on my chair and let's crack into this thing, see what the heck's inside. All right, so Scampers puked on the box. There's a lot of puke and cat hair in here. Because, you know, cats love puking on things. I swear, if a cat doesn't puke on something, you gotta question if you have a cat or just a really small dog. Alright, so inside we have some stuff. We have a DVD tray, or cover. It's a Pentium D 3.0, 1.1 gig of RAM, 500 gig hard drive, CD-ROM, CDRW, and it even has a floppy drive. I don't even have a floppy drive in any of my computers, so. Okay, this is a bad idea to use a chair because I need to actually open the box. So let's relocate to the floor. Let's get whatever this box is over here out of there. All right, what's in this box? We have a power connector, a bunch of plastic bags, product code for telling you what the thing is, a SATA hard drive cable, some floppy disks for RAID controller, the Shuttle extras, a bunch of other crap, operator's manual, and some other junk. Who cares? Over here we have the power cable, and then I'm just gonna do this like this, because I really don't feel like trying to pull that thing out of there. I'm just gonna let gravity do its work. And then we have the Shuttle itself. All right, it's kind of a small computer. Decent. Very decent indeed. Now, of course, I don't have a spare keyboard and mouse to plug into it because the ones I was going to use are currently being used on my workstation over there. I was going to hook it up to that monitor temporarily and try and put an OS on it, but I really just want to get it up on a desk so I can tear into it, see what the heck I'm dealing with, to see if my plans for using it are actually going to work or if they're going to fail harder than every other plan I've ever had in the history of having a plan. And that's to make it a Bitcoin miner and put it downstairs to generate some thermals. Might as well make some money and some heat at the same time, right? My freaking Hydra, I'll do what I want. All right, I'm gonna move the printer out of the way there. Well, I'm gonna leave it hooked up, and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, well, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the lid off this thing just to see. It says it has a PCI Express 16 port, but I don't know. I really don't know. Let's take the lid off of this and just see how congested it is in there. It actually does have a PCI Express 16 port. Check this shit out. Boom shakalaka. Not sure how I'm going to get a video card in there, but you can bet your titties I'm going to try. Now there's no room for an SSD or a secondary hard drive that I can see in there. She's pretty tight. But I do know that this RAM is coming out and 4 gigs is going in because I do have a battle plan for this rig. Like I mentioned, I want to make it a Bitcoin miner. So let's figure this shit out. I highly doubt that little pissy power supply has a lead on it to power a video card though. So my plan might already be euchred. But you know what this computer might be good for is hooking it up to my TV downstairs to stream media. I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing, to be honest. I have no idea. Buddy at work was going to throw it out and I was like, oh, I'll take it. That is the power supply back here. I don't see any leads up top or anywhere for that matter. Holy piss, are you using serial AT? Oh, that's for the floppy drive. Okay, whatever, who cares? Floppy drives are stupid. I don't see anything on here anywhere that would let me plug a video card into it. An auxiliary video card. So if I got a PCI Express card, it would have to be a shitty one that doesn't require auxiliary power. So this will not work for a Bitcoin miner, but it might work for a good streaming unit. Set it up downstairs on the TV and just let it rip. See, the other idea I had was the old Dell XPS 9000. I haven't used this thing in forever, and I was thinking about setting it up and putting one of those cards, either the R9 380 or the GTX 960 into it. The R9 380 hits harder than the GTX 960 as far as bit hash coin mining goes. Nice hash is what I use, and it does a way better job, but that 380 had some serious issues with compatibility. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So now that I see this thing, I don't know, man, I might just list it and get rid of it. Let's see what we can do. Alrighty, first thing I'm going to do is pull these this 1 gig of RAM, because that's not enough. Now before I scrap the computers, sent them off to the recycling center in the sky, I pulled some RAM out of the one machine, and now I can't find it because I'm so freaking good at keeping stuff safe. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. I pulled two 2 gig sticks out of DDR2 6. I don't even know what the heck this shit is. Anyways, DDR2. I'm gonna put that in there. It'll give me 3 1/4 RAM. You're probably saying, Adam, no, it'll give you 4 gigs. Well, it might, but I'm gonna have to run a 32-bit OS on this thing to make it do anything. You know, I'm probably wasting my time with this. This is old tech. I'm pretty sure I'm wasting my time with it. It's not gonna do what I want it to do. Like, even, it's not gonna do anything. Yeah, it's potato. I'm gonna scrap this entire project working on this thing, because honestly, guys, it's a Pentium D. I doubt it's 64-bit, definitely a 32-bit OS, or 32-bit processor. Let's see if Google knows. What's the Pentium D? Is it 64-bit?
According to Wikipedia, the Pentium D brand refers to 2 series of desktop dual-core 64-bit x86-64 microprocessors with the NetBurst microarchitecture, which is the dual-core variant of Pentium 4, Prescott, manufactured by Intel.
This might work. Okay, this might accidentally work. I'm gonna carry on my wayward son. Now, something I definitely need is a keyboard, and hold off without the mouse for now. Now, I got this wireless Bluetooth. Wow, Adam, way to go. This wireless USB one over here. Nope, that's a Bluetooth keyboard. There's the wireless one. Dad gave me this thing here, and I was using it after my Logitech broke, but I'm gonna try and use it on this thing here. Hopefully the USB is hot from the get-go. Is there front side USB on this thing? No, that's the floppy drive. That bottom panel doesn't do shit. That's the CD-ROM eject. Huh, why is there a freaking media header heading up to the front? Whatever, who cares? It's old tech, low tech. We're just gonna try and make it do something. Worst case it doesn't, we'll send it to the freaking garbage. Send it to the garbage. Alrighty, got the monitor hooked up and turned on. Got this thing with power. Keyboard is plugged in. I'm hitting things with my chair. Stop it. There's the keyboard turned on. I should probably move that RAM out of the way, just in case the RAM that's in there doesn't work. Keyboard is in the on right position. Let's see if this thing wants to boot. You look at the power button. All right, so far so promising. No post errors, no video either. Do I need to go into the settings or something? That was me turning it off and on. It's not picking up any signal. Oh, balls. Is it open? Ew. Okay, I gotta troubleshoot this. Pro tip, I probably should have tested it with the stock RAM before I jam that new RAM into it, but I like to do stupid shit. Yeah, that's not promising. Okay, let's cut the power. We'll pull the RAM sticks, put the old RAM back in, and see if she'll fire up then. Could just be that this RAM is no good for this. 2 gigs, sorry, PC. Is this even DDR? Dance Dance Revolution. It's way faster, mind you. What's this? Yeah, it's way faster RAM than I'm trying to jam in here, so let's go ahead, slide that back in, grab a hold of that, line it up. I'm just gonna put 1 stick in and see if it turns on. Hey, it turns on. So there we go. That was my problem. Gonna go ahead and shut it right down. And I'm gonna shove the other stick of RAM in it because running it on 512 megabytes, not gigabytes, is a lot of not fun. So what am I gonna put on here with a gig of RAM? I know. Unless I can source out some more RAM somewhere without having to buy it. Oh, that was a big mess. I just jammed the friggin' thing right into the motherboard. There we go, lined up. We're good. Fire in the hole. This is kind of neat. It actually knows what the heck it is. We press the power button, and I think it's just delete to get into the BIOS for it. I'll just hit all sorts of buttons and hope something works. Okay, rendering setup. All right, holy crap. You guys ever seen this BIOS before? This is old school. So we got a Plextor DVD-R, 500 gig drive, EGA, VGA. We got a whopping gig of RAM. Shit, that sucks. Huh, it actually still knows what the date is. At the right time? No, it's really not the right time. Who cares? Advanced BIOS features, what do we got here? Well, it can be used as a VMware. Virus warning disabled, L1, L2 cache enabled, quick power on self-test. Can we set, is there any other options, plus minus? Holy crap. Did I see zip one? You can use a zip drive on this thing and boot from it. Can I do any sort of USB? I don't have access to a burner. Other boot up devices, yes. Always turn on numlock, sure. All right, cut back. God, this thing smells like old dirty computer shop. It's got 8 megs on chip, and it takes 128 megs of my RAM. Oh my God. What do we got? We got an IDE, an onboard, and an onboard. Power management, don't care. Just sitting there. It's sitting at 51 degrees Celsius. Just not even doing anything. Yeah. All right, we're gonna let this pig reboot and see how far she gets. I think Buddy said he wiped the drive, but I don't know. Holy piss. I haven't seen this in forever. Windows XP, boys. Wow. You can hear the floppy drive freaking out. Sweet mother of Jesus. Your computer might be at risk. No freaking doubt. The antivirus on it's from 2013. You're 9 years too old. What am I gonna do with this thing? It's got Firefox on there, Internet Explorer probably 4. Sweet mother of Jesus, guys. Okay, I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do. So obviously this potato peeler is very freaking old. Does the Windows button work? Cool. Turn off the computer. I'm just gonna shut her right down. Obviously this computer is very freaking old, outdated, obsolete. Is not gonna do what I want it to do because, like, take a look at it. How big's the power supply on it? Like, are we sure that there's no video card channels on there? Oh, piss, no. It's only a 200 watt power supply. Yeah, it's probably struggling just to keep the CPU up. Okay. So, it's not going to do Bitcoin mining. We know that. Definitely not on 1 gig of RAM. We ain't getting no real OS on this thing. It's not going to be a media player because Windows XP probably won't even see my network because SMB too old to see the current version of SMB. Could put Linux on it, but I just don't feel like doing that. What would you guys do with this thing if you had it? Besides, take it out back and rifle a couple of rounds through it. I don't know, maybe I'll list it or take it to the hazardous waste depot. I have no use for this thing. She's kind of a potato peeler. Kind of got my hopes up. Well, the cat likes perching on it. I'll put it back out in the hall for now. Alright, I packed it up and I put it back outside where it was. From whence it came, it went back again. It is back to being a scamper's perch. I do need to clear all this shit out though, one of these days, because I have a plan for this area, and what I want to do is I want to get her a kitty cat tree and like bolt it to the floor there so it doesn't fall over, because she really likes to get high up. So if I can get the tree to sit around like this tall, where she can come up and she can sit there, and as I'm walking by, she can take shots at my head, because she probably will. When she's sitting there and I walk by, she'll swing at my shirt. It's friggin' awesome. But like, I thought about it while I was editing up the clips of the unboxing this freaking thing, and I mentioned it's no good for anything, but it actually is good for something if I was into that one thing. And what I mean is, a lot of people out there like retroware, retro video games, you know, old MS-DOS games. XP can still play MS-DOS games because it has 32-bit and 16-bit support. So you can play your Commander Keens, your Duke Nukem 3Ds, your, mind you, I think they remastered Duke Nukem 3D for Windows 10, but you know, that's besides the point. But you can play all those old classic games, TIE Fighter, X-Wing, all that shit. All those MS-DOS games. She would do it, and she would do it amazingly. I just don't care. That's my thing. Like, a lot of people are like, how can you not care? Like, I talked to a couple people on the internet and stuff, and like, you know, you got like Nostalgia Nerd, the Nostalgia Geek, Nostalgia Reviews. Seeing a pattern here? I am too. Anyway, these guys all have these like old compact Presario beige boxes running like 486 DX266 or a Pentium 133. And they bought these things at like a flea market or a boot sale, as the one guy in the UK says. They bring them back home, they clean them all up so they look brand spanking new, fire them up, and get so excited because it's like, oh yeah, I remember when I first got my computer like that. I never lived in the past like that. I'm always looking forward. I always want to know the next tech. I want to know what that next processor is going to bring. I want to know what the next GPU is going to bring. I want to know what the next architecture is going to bring. What's going to replace USB 3.2? Are we going to move into USB 4 where we can hook up displays to it and we no longer have DisplayPort, HDMI, DVI, and all this other bullshit? where everything just plugs into USB ports, and on the back of the motherboard, it's literally just 24 USB ports down the rail because you don't need to hook anything else up, and it's got like super fast speed and all that other shit. That would be pretty cool. But like, I'm always looking to the future. But I'm not knocking the retroware guys. Like, hey, that's what you're into. You want to relive your childhood and play Commander Keen and play Duke Nukem 3D and Doom, the original Doom, where you couldn't look up or down. Your bullets just magically went to the target and hit them. You know, Wolfenstein 3D, whatever games that you're into. If you miss coding in BASIC and you want to install DOS on a computer and then run the old BASIC and write programs in that for fun, because you definitely ain't going to sell them. You could by all means do that with that piece of shit upstairs. You could probably put MS-DOS on there. I don't know how well it would run. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but you could probably go ahead and give her a go and see what happens. You know, put Windows 3.1 on there, and then you can play that skiing game that everybody loved. You can throw Windows 95 on it, Windows 98 on it. Should probably take. It is a dual core though, so it's a dual core 3.0 gigahertz. Okay, maybe it probably won't take 95. Probably would be okay with 98 SE. I just don't know how it would handle the dual core. It probably should be just fine. But I have no use for it. And all my friends who are into nostalgia are really far away. So to ship it, it would cost me more than it would to just drop it off at the dump and get rid of it. But if somebody was swinging through town or something and they popped by and said, oh man, I've always wanted one of those, I'd be like, present! Take it, it's yours, and just get rid of it. So I have zero use. Like I thought, okay, maybe I'll put it in the garage and use it as a research machine, but no, it's Windows XP. I can't even put a Wi-Fi card on that thing. Well, I could, but to find the drivers for Windows XP for a Wi-Fi card is not exactly an easy task to pull off. And I really don't feel like writing drivers for freaking Windows XP just so I can have a shop computer when I have 3 laptops that are currently sitting there doing nothing, waiting to be used for that exact purpose. But no, I really have no time for nostalgia. Like, that's always been my thing. Like I said, I have friends online that are big into it. I watch a bunch of YouTubers that cover stuff. I like watching the videos of watching these guys do crazy shit. Like, oh, I just went to the flea market and I found, one guy ordered an XT 8088 or 8086, brand spanking new, still in the box and sealed with the actual IBM tape. And then he brought it home, unboxed it and took it out, and it was brand spanking new. All the freaking inserts were in it to keep the components from banging around during shipping. The case was actually the stock color, not that like I smoked 3 packs a day yellow color that the beige gets after a while. It was a mint condition XT. It was old stock that was in a warehouse that I guess nobody thought to look in it, and 40 years later they came across this crap and what are we gonna do with that? I'll put it up for auction. So you get that old computer, and then what do you do with it? You set it up and then you just leave it? No, I don't think so. I don't have enough room in this house to do bullshit like that. So I gotta say, if anybody out there wants it and they live nearby, let me know. I'll just drop it off. You can have it as it is. It works. It functions. I just have no use for it. I know one guy, he's going to message me. He lives in Florida. I think your name's Jason. I could be wrong. I know you're probably going to want it, but dude, I can't ship that to Florida. Are you kidding me? Probably going to cost like $120 just to get it to you. It's not even worth 50. So yeah, it's gonna, yeah, there's no point. Like if somebody was coming by, swinging through North Bay, I'd say, all right, meet me at Horton's on friggin' Seymour, and I'll go there with it and give it to you, and then you can friggin' take it home and realize you bought a doorstop, or bought a doorstop. I gave you a doorstop because I wouldn't sell it. There's no value in it. To me anyway. Somebody else might have value in it, and that's what I mean. Like, to me, there's no value. Somebody else, that thing's priceless. And if I can make them happy by saying, here, take it, then I would. I'd be like, yeah, man, have it. I don't need it. It's taking up space and I need it gone. So you can use it. Enjoy. There. Shit, it's yours. Have fun. But yeah, I don't need to be collecting junk like this. I really don't. I really 100% do not need crap like this in the house because it just takes up space. It's garbage, right? So I was pricing out some new computers today, just taking a look to see what's out there, to see who has what. And I'm going pre-built because building a computer is not going to happen. You got your motherboard. That's about $250 to $300 because I ain't buying cheap. I'm not doing it like the last time I built a computer. I bought a kit and the motherboard was like a $60 motherboard and the North Bridge blew on it. That was garbage. That pissed me right off. Everything else was okay, but the board. So I would piece it out part by part. I would get an AMD board, preferably a Z series, a Z chip, so that I can run NVIDIA in Crossfire. I don't know why I need to do that, but I just would. Apparently they have more features for the AMD processors. The B series are good too, so I would probably even check them out just to see what the B, I think it's the 550 now that's out, and it's pretty decent. I currently got a B350 in the Ryzen X 1600X, and it's all right. It does the job. It's the Fatality series by ASRock, and you know, I never trusted ASRock before, but they've come a long way, so I got to give that board some serious kudos. She's pretty freaking good. But I'd probably, the motherboard, you're looking around 200, 250 bucks. Then your processor is going to be about 400 bucks. So we're already up to like $650, $700, right? And then RAM, I'm going to want a minimum 16 gigs, preferably 32 gigs of RAM in the thing. So with 32 gigs of RAM, I never priced out RAM yet. But you're probably looking at two 16 gig DIMMs. I'm guessing they're going to be about 150 a pop. That's just me guessing. I'm probably wrong. So now we're up to like $1,000, all right? And then we got to get a video card, and that's impossible to source. And when you can source them, an RTX 3060 is $1,700. That's the cheapest one I found. Best Buy has one for $700, which brings the total price of the computer now up to $1,700. However, they're never in stock, and it always says coming soon. And I'm like, well, can you come today? I don't have the money for it, but I'd be happy if you did, because, well, then you'd be sold out again, and I'd never get it. Yeah. So we're up to $1,700 after that. Guess what I still don't have? I don't have storage. So I need storage. So I'm going to definitely want at least a 500 gig SSD M.2 to run my OS, to run my applications, like my program files, like the video, like Vegas, for instance, has got to be on there. GIMP's got to be on there for making the thumbnails. I need, what else do I need on there? Magic's Music Maker. So all that stuff needs to be on there. So I need at least a 500 gig. But then I want my storage drive to put my footage on. Now the boards I was looking at, they had two M.2 slots so that you can put two M.2s in there. So I would basically load another M.2 in there, preferably 1 terabyte or larger, so I can use that as my working folder and have that super speed, that high speed bus link, so that the slowest component would be the processor trying to video render. It wouldn't be fighting the hard drive for feed. Now, solid state drives, if you've looked them up, they've kind of jumped up in price a bit due to the fact that silicone is hard to get. Manufacturing's pretty much stopped because of COVID, and things are kind of whack. So I really am not willing. Well, it's going to cost me about $300 to probably $350 just for the drive. So we're already up to $2,050. But we're still missing another major component in the friggin' game, okay? We got our RAM, we got our CPU, we got our graphics card, we got our motherboard, we got our storage, still need a case. So a case, even a cheap case, runs you about about $100. So we're up to $2,150 now, unless I'm off on my math. $2,150 to $2,200, depending on the case I get. Still need a power supply, so that's another $100. It's a $2,300, we'll say. And to run the damn thing, I need a licensed copy of Windows. And I was in Staples the other day, and for Windows 7 Home, it's $179 for a license. Now, you know, you could go the illegal route and just run a copy of KMPS on your computer and then just friggin' route the registration services through that, and then you're good to go. But the problem is every time you do a Windows update, it nukes your copy of Windows because it detects the KMPS service and it doesn't like that kind. Now there's ways around that too, but I'm not getting into that in the video because it's not about being illegal, it's about being honest. And I would actually buy a copy of Windows so I can get all the updates and get everything right, because let's face it, you download software off of torrent sites, guys, and sometimes you get more than you want, you know? Yay, I got Far Cry 5. Yeah, but your computer's also infected with a Trojan that's keystroke logging everything you do. And then you wonder why your Facebook account just got hacked. I'm just putting that out there. That actually happened to a friend. He wanted Far Cry 5. He watched the video back. Remember when I used to stream that? He watched that video and he's like, oh, I'm going to go get it myself. And he just kind of went and downloaded it, installed it, and his computer got infected big time. And he was trying to play it on an old Lenovo ThinkPad with a GeForce MX. I can't remember, 440 I think it was. and it ran like a bag of smashed assholes. So he was like, this game doesn't work well on my computer, so he had installed it. But the virus was still there, and it kind of decided to steal his Facebook account. Because some people don't believe in two-factor authentication, and those are the people who are always getting hacked on Facebook. Get two-factor authentication. For freak's sakes, set it up. It's easy. Now, I went and priced out some computers just for fun. I'm not shopping. I'm not buying anything yet. But I priced out this HP Omen, which came with the Ryzen, it was the Ryzen 9 or Ryzen 5900 or some shit. When is she's playing with Oreo's ball. It's funny when she thinks she's a dog. Look at her. She's a good soccer player. Hey, Nikki, you want Scampers on your team? She's a good soccer player. She is. Look at her. She's trying to push the ball past. Look at her. She's a great soccer player. Oh, yeah, she's having a blast. Got distracted by a cat swatting a baseball. It had the Ryzen 5900 in it. I didn't look up the processor. I think it's like 8 cores, 12 threads, or 8 cores, 16 threads, which is better than my 6 cores, 12 threads. And it's got a higher clock rate, better architecture, all that fun stuff. So she'd soar. Computer came with 16 gigs of RAM, which is my bare minimum. I can upgrade later on, not a big deal. Came with the NVIDIA 3060 12 gig edition. So that's kind of cool. I think it was 12 gig, could be 8 gig. Anyway, whatever, not a big deal. They literally wanted $1,899 for it. So that's cheaper than a pre-built. Or sorry, cheaper than building your own. Definitely not cheaper than pre-built. It is a pre-built. So then I went over to look at some other brands, and there was a couple other ones they had there. They had an Acer something series. Lenovo had a Legion series. So many different kinds. And they all basically had the same specs, and they're all basically around the $2,000 mark. So I'm like, that's stupid. Why build your own computer when you can just buy a pre-built and it's ready to rock? Like back in the day, it was totally worth it to build your own. It was so much cheaper. Where buying a pre-built was like what you're paying for the name. That's how it was back in the day. Anyway, guys, I'm going to shut her down here. I've been rambling on long enough after realizing that computer should have just went to the garbage instead of coming into my hands. But if anybody out there wants it to go into their hands, let me know. And if you're nearby or whatever, we'll arrange something. Anyway, people, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, guys, live it to win it, and peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.